So once again, we're here on our little form. We've got it doing all the things that we wanted, including validation. Now we're going to talk about using JSON to convert some of this information so that if we need to, we can send it back and forth between the servers. So to start with, we're going to create a variable for our object. We'll just call it variable myObject. And we're going to set it equal to our JSON format. So that's going to be open bracket, and then quote name, colon, John. Then we'll separate it by a comma, and we'll do age, colon, 30. It's not a very big object, but it'll serve our purposes. Now, this may look like I'm just creating a string, and it makes sense that you would think that, but watch what happens if we try to send it out in an alert. Here we go. It just says object. It can't determine what's in there because it knows it's an object, but it doesn't understand how to tell us what's in it. In order to convert it to something that it can use, we're going to have to use a function called stringify. So we'll say another variable called myJSON, JSON.stringify, and then we just put our object, myObject. Now that we've done this, we can send out an alert for our new variable, myJSON, and we can see that it now has the values, name John, age 30. This gives us the ability to spit out the whole thing because it converts it to a string. That's why it's called stringify. However, what if we don't just want to put it out an alert? Let's pass our getVal function, and we'll use value1 as the identifier. So value1, and then we'll pass it myJSON. When we save this, we'll see that it actually changes the text in the page and it keeps it in that object array. But what if we wanted to do the opposite? What if we wanted to convert it from a string to an object? Well, there's a function for that too. In this case, it's called parse. So we'll create a new object. We'll call this one myObject2. And this time we're going to set it equal to JSON.parse, and we'll pass in myJSON. Before we go on, we need to change myJSON to our new myObject2. Now we save it and run it. Now we see that it's an object again. And we can still use this, even though it's an object, we just can't use it as an object by itself. But because it's in our particular name value pairs, and those names act as indexes, we can use what's called the dot syntax. So we could say myObject2.name, and now we're talking about the thing that's in the object, not just the object. So when we save this, and try to run it again, we now get John. That's how you convert things to and from strings and objects using JSON model. This allows us to send things across the internet that normally wouldn't be able to. You can't send an object to a server. It wouldn't know what to do with it. But by using stringify, you can turn it into a string that it knows how to handle, and if it sends you back a string, you can parse it back into an object so that you can use it on your screen. That's it for this lesson. We'll continue on with other lessons, and they can always be found at creativeonlineschool.com.